When you see something strange in the neighborhood, who are you gonna call? That's right, everybody. My name is Jericho, and we are back here talking about Ghostbusters. Today, we are specifically talking about Ghostbusters Night Shift, the newly announced Ghostbusters animated series that is going to be coming to Netflix in 2027. I am excited for this, but let's dive into it. If you haven't heard yet, Ghostbusters Night Shift was announced, or accidentally announced, and then actually announced at Ghostbusters Day in New York this year. While Jason Reitman, Gil Kinnan, and even Dan Aykroyd are serving as executive producers on the projects, the showrunners are Ben Hibben and Elliot Callan. There's been rumors going around for a while that the show is going to be set in the 90s, that it might be in a Spider-Verse-esque animation style. But other than that, we really didn't know too much until today. So today we got the announcement from the Annecy Film Festival. Supposedly there was some footage shown at this festival, but that footage has not yet been released to the public. All we have seen is 2 images, supposedly concept art. From what I can tell, they are concept art, but they could also be freeze frames from the animation. I'm not entirely sure. Animation is being handled by Flying Bark Productions, the studio behind Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Glitch Techs, and Stranger Things Tales from '85. I got that Stranger Things animation style vibe from these pictures when I first saw them. Seeing a Ghostbusters show in that animation would be very cool. I'm very excited for that part of it. What we know so far is that Ghostbusters Night Shift is set in New York City in 1994, which is 5 years after Ghostbusters 2 and 10 years after Ghostbusters 1. When a new wave of supernatural terror strikes the Big Apple, a group of scrappy young New Yorkers find themselves thrust into the center of the chaos. Untrained, underappreciated, and, as Netflix describes them, kinda sorta responsible for the problem. The unlikely heroes must suit up, strap on proton packs, and confront their fears, and save the city from an escalating paranormal threat. So right off the bat, I'm kind of getting extreme Ghostbusters vibes. The younger new Ghostbusters group kind of put together by Egon to fill the role of the originals as they're getting older. But in this version, it seems like the original Ghostbusters aren't anywhere to be found. Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, and Winston Zeddemore have disbanded at this point. Okay, so according to the Ghostbusters wiki, some point between the early 1990s and 2000s, Egon Spengler moved to Somerville, taking the Ecto and the original ghost-busting equipment. Night Shift follows a group of younger Ghostbusters who, inspired by the original heroes, create similar technology to face supernatural foes. So that does make you think they are creating their own packs. Maybe they found some old blueprints in the firehouse that were left by Egon. Proton packs featuring low-tech energy beam, random and angular shape, kind of unstable on its feet. A DIY PKE meter built using spare parts from a Sony PlayStation 1. Okay, so this is the gear that they're using. Interesting. A DIY PKE meter built using spare parts from a Sony PlayStation 1. That's kind of funny. I don't know how that's gonna work, but okay. The Ghost Drive, a modified with recycled skateboard wheels, a spinning mirror mechanism, and a bass guitar pedals. So I'm guessing that might be kind of like their trap. Ecto 94. Operating without permission to use the Ecto 1, the team drives a gently pre-used van customized with spray paint and a spinning roof turret for some precarious ghost busting on the go. As the team behind Night Shift explained, the characters are in an earlier, messier stage of their lives. So probably teenagers or young adults, I would guess. They would have a van instead of the iconic Ecto 1, and they have a pet Taro puppy. That's right. It's a cuter, miniaturized version of the Pterodogs from Ghostbusters. You will want to adopt one immediately. So this is one thing I'm a little iffy on, is the Taro puppy. Now I'm sure it is coming from a merchandise standpoint. We've obviously seen how Grogu has kind of started this trend of different franchises making a baby version of a character. We saw Scoob to sell cute toys to kids, and I'm sure that that's what the main reason for this is, because I don't really think it makes sense, knowing that the original Pterodogs were from Gozer. They were the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. I don't really understand how we could have another puppy. I don't know. What Netflix also claims, the new team will move to the iconic Ghostbusters headquarters, Tribeca Firehouse, which is in disrepair. They go into detail on the new characters. So the new characters we have so far are Zoe, described as Kellen as our adorable kid who's also a real wise ass, really gets on my nerves. We have Travis, who is a charming, petty criminal or con man who needs to be charismatic and cool, but is also kind of a loser. Jack Quid is the voice artist here. Okay, so that's who Jack Quid is voicing. Mike, our engineer and tech wizard. He needs to be scientific genius who also exudes warmth and emotional inner strength. Sounds like kind of the Egon of the group. Little bit of Ray in there probably as well. We have Mitzi, I think. Mitzi, a badass riot girl who jumps headfirst into action, but is also extremely protective of her sister Zephyr. And then we have Beldana, a goth character that is also listed in the article without detailed description. Thanks to Ghostbusters World Hub for the tip. To cap off the segment, the audience was treated to an executive work-in-progress clip from episode 2, where Travis tracks down an entranced Zoe to Grand Central Station. Things quickly go sideways as they are attacked by a terrifying Class 3 semi-corporeal anchored spirit, a demonic ticket-taker ghost, who tries to kidnap Zoe for a mysterious entity known as the Nightwalker. So I'm assuming the Nightwalker is going to be the main villain here. I don't know what kind of character that is. I will say, it sounds like we're getting some new ghosts, and I'm very much excited for that. I'm very excited for new ghosts. I really think we need some more new ghosts. So this appears to be the screenshot we've seen, or the concept art we're seeing of this conductor like ghost. And we see another character with looks like blonde curly hair, with a proton pack. Neither of the characters are dressed up as Ghostbusters, so if I had to guess, this is probably one of the first encounters they have with a ghost in the series. I really do like the look of this ghost. It shows that they are kind of leaning into the horror side of Ghostbusters a bit more. Onto the second picture we see, it looks like we have the Ghostbusters walking into the sunset in New York. We have 6 of them, and one of them is on a skateboard, it seems like. We also have another character with a ghost trap, and it appears to be a left-handed proton pack. And then I'm assuming this is supposed to be the Pterodog. It kind of looks like a pig, or like a hog to me, but I'm assuming that's supposed to be the Pterodog puppy. I'm very much looking forward to this. I can see a few things that don't really make sense. Pterodog being one of the big ones. I'm a little disappointed about them not using the Ecto, but if Egon took it with him, it does make sense that they would just use a van instead. I'm definitely getting kind of an extreme Ghostbusters vibe from this. The kind of structure of it is a good way to move forward with the franchise. And at some point, they're going to have to move on from the original cast. As much as I love the original 4 Ghostbusters, obviously, we all do, but I feel like if this franchise wants to continue, they're eventually going to need to move away to expand. I mean, we see real Ghostbusters franchise groups around the world who have taken the idea of franchising that format, using that same idea in the movies and in the TV shows, gives a really good way to build that world without being reliant on the original 4. I will be surprised if there is not some form of cameo or appearance from the original guys. I will be very surprised, but it seems like it's not going to be the focus of the show, which I personally am all right with. It's a bit of a task when going into a franchise like this that already exists with lovable characters already there, that they're completely creating new ones, but I feel like the project is in good hands. I think it's going to be good. Are you guys looking forward to this? Do you think it's going to be trash? Do you think it's going to be good? What are you guys thinking? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, I want to do a lot more videos like this talking about movies and franchises and things. I also want to be doing videos talking about urban legends and mythology and cryptids and stuff like that. So if any of that stuff is interesting to you whatsoever, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great night, or night shift.